Throughout 2015, Europe has been tackling a refugee and migrant crisis. Roughly 1 million people have fled to this continent over the past 12 months, and the wave of asylum seekers has thrown the concept of European solidarity into question, with many Eastern EU member states saying the external border of the EU should be closed. The picture that has come to symbolise the horrors of the crisis is that of a small Kurdish boy's lifeless body washed up on a Turkish beach. The flimsy boat his family were using to cross into Greece capsized, but he was only one of around 2,500 people known to have drowned making such a crossing.
I felt it was our moral duty to concentrate also on our responsibility as Europeans to prevent this kind of tragedies to happen again and again. The main issue here is to build together a common sense of European responsibility.
The UN predicts 3 million people will apply for asylum in the EU before the end of 2017. But an EU relocation programme has so far only moved just a few hundred refugees, instead of the 160,000 it plans to distribute among member countries out of Italy and Greece. Greece has become the frontline entry point for the asylum seekers, but in 2015 the country nearly exited the single currency euro, as its newly elected left-wing government tried to renegotiate Greece's debt deals with the EU.
Mario Draghi, the president of the European Central Bank, said quite correctly that for the euro to succeed anywhere, it must succeed everywhere. We think he's absolutely spot on.
Greece was forced to accept austerity measures by the EU. In November, terror attacks struck the French capital Paris. 130 people died as 8 men stormed bars, cafes and a music venue, shooting indiscriminately before using suicide belts to blow themselves up. The Islamic State claims responsibility.
The question of the circulation of foreign fighters, which is a top security issue for Europe, inevitably comes into the question of asylum policy and migration and mobility policy more generally. And of course, this also has political resonance. So this is something that policymakers are going to have to parse very, very carefully, how to be more effective on the security side and still have a policy that works with regard to migration.
2015 will also be remembered as the year South Africa locked horns with the International Criminal Court over the attendance of Sudan's ICC-indicted President Omar al-Bashir to an AU summit in Johannesburg. The court says South Africa should have arrested him.
We don't want to ever, as South Africa, after having been part of the formation and the drafters of the Rome Statutes, to ever be asked to choose between ICC and our Pan-African agenda. We think that would be asking for too much.
In 2016, the court awaits a response from South Africa about what exactly happened with President al-Bashir. 2015 has been a year of crises here in Europe, and the coming year looks set to be the same. The refugee crisis has revealed growing divisions between European countries, which are only set to become deeper in 2016. Jack Parrick, SABC News, Brussels.